and I got cabin fever. I've been building and building and building and building, and I'm working on this dormer, and it's done out of twigs and shakes, and it's unbelievable. I've never done it in my life, and I'm frustrated, and I'm almost finished, and up to here, okay? And very unhappy, really. So I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, I could walk out of here, and that was exciting. Ooh, that was exciting. I could walk out of here. And, you know, it's just like along the valley, over the mountain, down to the Ian Lake, and then up a little hill, and there's the logging show. And then down the other side is the camp. Simple, right? So I sort of mentioned it to my wife, you know, Rosalind, and she said, do it! Do it! She says, you're a pain in the ass anyway, she says. You're not fun to be around, you know, just do it, just do it. I said, come on, leaving you alone with 2 kids out here by yourself on the West Coast, and, you know, and as it turned out, it was like 6 weeks before I came back, right? And anyway, she said, oh, no problem. Don't even think about it. In fact, I'll be very happy to have some time to myself. Just go, do it. So I did it really fast, Like that was done in the afternoon. I was going the next morning. So in the afternoon, I start putting things together, and as I'm putting things together, I'm thinking, you know, like what clothes, what stuff. And it's only a day and a half, but something to keep me warm, you know, I figured. And I remember the thermal underwear, the Alaskan thermal underwear. It crunched up to nothing, right? Because it was just all down or whatever it was, right? And I said, I'll take that, that'll be nice. Because it doesn't take up any space. And fire starter. Gotta have some fire starter. If the fire doesn't go, so a shampoo bottle full of kerosene, and rain gear, of course, and so on. And I took off next day with about a day and a half food. So I go along the valley. It's beautiful walking. Lots of wind blows, but over those, then up the mountain. And it was March, you know, it was easy going. Everything, all the snow had melted. It was just great. I get to the top on the other side. I sink this deep in snow. First few steps I took. 3rd, 4th step, boom, I'm down to here. And so I crawl out, you know, like laboriously make myself out of the hole, but it was not that hard, but it took a while. And then I take a few more steps, boom, back into here. I said, holy shit, how am I going to get down this mountain? You know, like, I'll be totally exhausted, like just halfway through. And I thought, rain gear, I can slide on my ass on the rain gear. Why not, right?
I've done it.
Yeah, and it could be fun too, eh? So I get my rain jacket out, nice Helly Hansen rain jacket, nice and thick and strong, and I was glad for that, believe me, because I sat down there and I started sliding, and it was really fun. It was really fun, and I controlled the speed nicely. I didn't go too fast or nothing, and as I'm getting to the tree line, I start slowing down, put my feet down, you know, to stop myself, you know, and I've slowed down considerably when a sharp, pointed stick goes right into my penis, and I am just freaked. I said, holy shit, I'm gonna bleed to death. I'm gonna fucking bleed to death. And I ripped my clothes open, right, and I opened it, and there it had pinned my foreskin to my belly. No puncture. No puncture. This is absolute truth. I was jubilant. I was still pain,
Yeah.
but jubilant. There was no puncture. You know, and you know, to this day I try to figure out what the hell happened. And I think it was the rain gear. You know, the rain gear stopped it from actually making a puncture.
It was God.
For sure. And I figured, shit, you know, like you are one lucky guy. Eh? I was sitting there really high, like really, really high, really thankful, right? Because on that side of the mountain, I mean, you know, even just going back, that was a full day.
Yeah.
Almost a full day. And I just wouldn't have made it if I'd had a punch on my stomach or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, so, well, and I said, oh well, it'll be easy. Now I slowly slid right into the woods. And I thought, in the woods I can, there'll be not so much snow. I sank up to my waist there. So I couldn't do that either. So the only way left to me, it was not, you couldn't slide there either. So, the only way to go was in the creek. Walk right in the creek. And this creek was nuts, eh? It was like choom, 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 all over the place, eh? And it's dark and I know I haven't covered very much ground, eh? So I'm right in this steep-sided valley with snow way up, so I can't possibly climb out, right? There's no way I can climb out. And so what am I going to do, right? And the only thing left to do is burrow a little hole in the side of the snowbank, and put my piece of plastic. Oh yeah, a hippie never goes anywhere without a piece of plastic, right?
Right.
So I put that piece of plastic down, put my sleeping bag on the plastic. All my clothes were soaked, so I took mine right off right there and just dropped them, jumped into my thermal underwear, jumped into the sleeping bag, toasty warm. But I look up and I'm in this valley and it's sort of overcast and gray and sort of misty, and it's not snowing, it's sort of drizzling, and I suddenly get really claustrophobic, and I'm exhausted, right, from the creek and the whole thing and the adrenaline, and I'm laying there and I said, oh man, you gotta sleep, but I can't sleep. I'm just oppressed by this, and I have all these negative thoughts going through my head, like you're never going to make it, right? and if you don't sleep, you have no energy, and how are you going to do it then, right? Mm-hmm. And you got no more food. I used up my food that day, right? And all these panic thoughts. And I'm laying there, and I'm thinking, and I said, alternate nostril breathing. That's what they told you. They said, the Indian yogis, and I did that as an exercise for a while, with my yoga, with this alternate nostril breathing, and it said it calms the nervous system, and in whatever stress situation you're in, use that breathing, you get out of it. So I did it, and I did it for a long time, just back. You breathe in one nostril, out the other and in the other, and then out the other and in the other, out and in, right that. Mm-hmm. And I did that for a while, and I fell asleep. And I swear to God, when I woke up next morning, it was like I was totally rejuvenated. Just completely, utterly ecstatic, full of energy. So much of energy I didn't even notice all those icy, cold, wet clothes that I was putting back on. And it didn't even matter. I was toasty warm anyway, and I grabbed up my stuff and went. And as it turned out, that kerosene really came in handy, because I only made it to the beginning of the lake. No, just a minute. No, I walked all the way. No, that next day, I only made it to the beginning of the lake, just a little bit along the lake, and then I camped again, and I couldn't get a fire started. And I went to the north end, south end, east end of the trees, got everything, twigs, nothing would start, so I had to use the kerosene, and that's what did it. I just kept pouring it on and pouring it on, and finally did it. And then the next day I walked out and walked over the hill, and I come to the other side of the hill, and there's a crummy parked, a crew cab truck, a pickup truck parked there. So I walk up to the window, and I'll never forget this. The guy is just biting into his sandwich, he's having lunch. And he's biting into his sandwich like this, and he just stops dead. What the fuck? Where did you come from? Where did you come from? I mean, I'm just walking. He knew I wasn't from the camp, right? Where was I coming from? He was really, and he was so flustered. He said, "You want a bite?" Like he didn't know what to say, right? And I said, "I just walked in from the West Coast." He said, "From the West Coast? What the hell? Where?" I said, "Port Louis." "Port Louis?" He says, "That must be long." "No, not that long." I said, "Just a couple of days." And he said, "Oh, Jesus," he said, "you want to ride into camp?" And I said, "No, thanks. I don't think it's very far, is it?" He said, "Well, it's about a kilometer or two. And I said, no problem. No, you know, I didn't want to be with him anyway, because he was, you know, I mean, I come from the West Coast, and he was so different, right? There was too much of an adjustment for me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
You were suffering culture shock.
That's right. I just wanted to walk into camp, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
And so I walked into camp, walked into the cook shack immediately, right? The whole day I walked and not eaten. I was very hungry. And the guy said, it's too early, sorry, come back later. And I said, hey, to be honest with you, I said, I'm really hungry, and I just walked in from the West Coast. I didn't eat all yesterday. So I wondered if I just could have something, just anything. He said, what? West Coast, did you say? And I said, it's not that far. I said, it's just a couple of days. You walked for a couple of days out from the West Coast? Shit, he said, you could have anything you want. He said, just help yourself. And
That's right.
yeah, anyway.
That's a really good story. That's great.
That's it's my guardian angel story. I have quite a few. I've been looked after, really looked after in my life. Like that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Always. It's always been a guardian angel for my foolishness, you know, for the things I don't know about, you know. Just like
So when you went back out there, you said it was 6 weeks later. How did you go back out there? Just
SC-109. I bought the SC-109 and got ready and
bought it out.
and went out there.
Wow.
What's that about?
It's a little double-ender boat, yeah. I mentioned that to
32
her
feet.
because she knows the boat.
Yeah.
SC 109 or SC? Okay.
Sunshine Cannery 109. They all had numbers.
Oh,
We had the SC 134,
oh.
and Bob and Lee had that
That's
first,
right.
right? And
Yeah,
then you
that's
had
what who my
and Greg had it too after you then,
I guess,
Greg
and
must
then
have had
got
that.
down south, yeah.
because I had a nice trip on that with Greg going across the Heckett's. Yeah.
Good sea boat though, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Was it rough weather?
It was rough weather, and thank heavens it was dark because you couldn't see how bad it was. But we were like 24 hours late getting into port, so people were getting very worried. But we got, kept blowing, and we got blown way north of where we thought we were. And the thing was, he was running out of gas, but of course, thank you, he never told me he was low on fuel. And we got in okay and everything, but yeah, it's a good little boat.
yeah, it's good. Yeah. Yeah, there's another story around that, leaving Port Louis with all our belongings on it and just about sinking it in a storm. Oh yeah, we came really close to sinking it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking of recording those and putting them in a book or something. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah,
adventures.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because
that's-
there's lots of
That's a
them.
wonderful story.
There's a lot of stories like that I've experienced. You
There's
know.
a lady named Jensen came here and interviewed women who worked on the water, and it's got lots of stories in it.
Mm. Good.
It's called Saltwater Women, I think, and there might be a copy in the library. I'm not sure.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
And there's one lady. I don't remember her name. Anderson. She and her husband tugboat, and there's a story on the West Coast Rental Sound that's thrills by the minute, horrifyingly surviving. It's excellent.
Oh, that was excellent.
Yeah.
Was that at the bar? She told that at the bar?
I don't know.
But
She wrote it in this book.
Remember at the bar there was a lady who told, a professional writer,
Oh.
Yeah.
who told about a horrendous fishing story. Man, that was good too.
Yeah, it
That was
was.
really good.
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
No, it wasn't that one, eh?
No.
Yeah. Can I get a copy
Sure.
from you?
Now, these stories are brought to you by the Table Tennis Club of Queen Charlotte City. And if you show up to play table tennis, you will hear these stories. Thank you.
Oh, you're funny.
So
Is this all being filmed?